The Brazilian Grand Prix weekend is now behind us and Lando Norris topped the qualifying session with a lap time of a 1:09.5. In this video I will simulate the Q3 session and try to beat his lap time. I have set up the session as a 10 minutes with 9 other drivers on track to simulate the Q3 as accurate as possible. I'll be doing 2 runs with an out lap, flying lap and an in lap just like Norris did. In terms of tyres, the allocated tyres for the Brazilian GP weekend were the C2, C3 and C4 compounds, so I will be using the C4 as Norris did for the Q3 runs. Now there might be people that may not know what exactly those C2, 3 and 4 mean, so just a bit of a clarification for those. For the 2025 season, there are 6 different dry tyre compounds varying in softness, with the C1 being the hardest and C6 being the softest. For each weekend, Pirelli supplied 3 different compounds, and for the Brazilian GP, they had the C2, the C3 and the C4 as the softest red stripe tyre. So from the tyres onto the track conditions. As most drivers complained about the lack of grip after the qualifying session, I have also set up the session to be a fast track rather than optimum conditions. So this will give us a little bit less grip, and let's see how we compare. And with that, it is time for the first flying lap. Okay, so with the first flying lap, I was struggling with understeer as I feel I didn't prep the tyres well enough and they were too cold. I also had a big moment into turn 10 with locking both rears and the fronts. I also thought I had a good exit out of turn 12, but kept losing time on the run to the finish line, so I don't know what was going on there, but ultimately was not a great lap altogether. Despite all of that, however, we did manage a 1:09 flat, which is 5/10 faster than Lando's Q3 lap and 2/10 faster than his SQ3 lap. For the second run, I took 2 liters of fuel off, and the plan was to drive more aggressively on the out lap to prep the tires, but because of traffic, I actually ended up with around 2 degrees colder tires into turn 1 compared to the first run, which was far from ideal. Now let's see how things unfolded. So as you can see, the second lap was not great with both sectors 1 and 2 actually slower than the first lap, and I struggled with even more understeer. Thanks to the monster slipstream from Piastri, however, yes, I know that's a little bit ironic, but sector 3 was what made the difference, and we managed a 108.6, which happens to be the fastest lap throughout the whole weekend during the Brazilian GP. And now I will leave you with an onboard replay of the money lap. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.